Chapter 91. Although Ning said that this man surnamed Zhao would have something good happen in 3 days and no one could verify it, she was able to tell that Zhao Ergo's matter was correct just by reading his palm. Once this skill was revealed, how could anyone doubt her divine fortune-telling ability at all? The crowd suddenly became excited. Divine fortune-telling girl, I am willing to pay an extra 50 silver coins. Can you help me with my divination first? A fat middle-aged man with a big belly squeezed out of the crowd. He placed a silver ingot worth 50 silver coins in front of Ning and spoke in a rich and overbearing manner. Ning was stunned. Before she could say anything, the crowd began to fill with angry and dissatisfied voices. That fatty, what do you mean? Are you showing off how much money you have? Do you think that with some stinky money you can get a number? Father has 50 more silver coins than you. Damn, I'll pay an extra 100 silver coins. The originally orderly team suddenly became a mess. Everyone squeezed forward, surrounding a small wooden table so tightly that not even a drop of water could trickle through. There were 3 layers of people inside and 3 layers outside. Ning suddenly found it hard to breathe. Those local tycoons were still calling out their prices. 150 silver coins. 200 silver coins. 250. Their voices were getting louder and louder, each one more confident than the last. The amount of silver coins kept increasing, making Ning's head feel like it was about to explode. Her face sunk and it was as if a layer of frost had covered it. All of you shut up for me. Her voice was even more effective than the Emperor's imperial edict. The chaotic crowd instantly quietened down. Everyone stared at her without blinking, feeling uneasy in their hearts. It seemed like the divine fortune-telling girl was angry. Ning had an expressionless face and did not even look at the crowd. She picked up a piece of paper and tore it into 10 pieces. Then she picked up a pen and wrote 10 numbers from 1 to 10 on each piece of paper. Everyone stared at her intently, not knowing what she meant by this. Ning put down the pen and looked up at the crowd. She calmly said, "There is a saying that heaven's secrets cannot be revealed, but fortune-telling is considered revealing heaven's secrets. I do not dare go against the heavens, otherwise I will be punished by the heavens, so I can only do 10 divinations a day. There are 10 pieces of paper with numbers on them. If you want me to calculate your divinations, then follow the order on these pieces of paper. Those that do not get a piece of paper, please come early tomorrow." After saying this, she pushed the pieces of paper to the front of the table. Suddenly, countless large hands reached out. "Ha ha, I got one. I got one. First, I'm first." Chapter 92. The fat middle-aged man's action instantly made all the rich people who couldn't get a piece of paper feel enlightened. They couldn't get it, but they could buy it with money. Ning smiled as she watched the rich people bid for the paper she wrote, but she did not stop them. She looked at the fat middle-aged man in front of her and asked with a smile, "This old master, do you want to calculate when you will have a child?" Although the fat squire was already filled with admiration for Ning's divine fortune-telling, hearing her words, he was still shocked by her words. You, how do you know?" He was stunned. "Naturally, from your physiognomy." Ning looked at the fat man's face for a while and then looked at him up and down. Then she nodded and picked up a pen. She wrote 6 words on a piece of paper, folded it into a square, and gave it to the fat man. "I have a secret recipe here. As long as you follow this recipe, after a year there should be good news." The fat man's jaw almost dropped in shock. He received the square with a bit of doubt. He opened it and read the words on it, "Keep your mouth shut and move your legs more." He read it word by word, but he was completely confused. "What do you mean by this?" His face sunk and he asked in a very angry voice. Just these 6 words would allow him to hug the fat boy? He did not believe it at all. In the daytime, this girl was a swindling Jianghu swindler, wasting his 100 taels of silver for nothing. Of course it's the meaning of the words. Keeping your mouth shut and moving your legs is to let the old master eat less and move more. It's because you are just too fat. Ning said in a long voice. As soon as her voice fell, the surrounding people broke out in laughter. Because what she said couldn't be more correct. That fat man was so fat that he didn't even have a neck. He had a big belly and he looked just like a fat pig sitting there. The fat man's face turned the color of a pig's liver as he angrily said, "What does father not having a son have to do with father being fat?" Of course it's related, and it's very related. Ning's smile disappeared and she said with a serious face, "It's because you're too fat that you still don't have a son. Even if you have 7 concubines, not only do you not have a son, you haven't even given birth to a daughter. The reason is not because of your concubines but rather because of you. If you keep getting fat like this, I dare say that you won't have a son in this lifetime. You. The fat man pointed at Ning and was so angry that he couldn't say anything. As a fatty, the last thing he wanted to hear in his life was others calling him fat. If someone dared to mention the word fat in front of him, even if it wasn't him, he would immediately turn hostile. He really wanted to curse out loud, but after thinking about it, how did she know that he had 7 concubines? Chapter 93. The fat man was given the cold shoulder, but he did not dare say anything. He angrily threw out 10 silver coins and muttered in a low voice, "Humph, what divine fortune-telling, I think you're just a swindler." Although his mouth was cursing, he still believed 70 to 80% of Ning's words in his heart. He stood up and prepared to leave, but Ning suddenly called out to him. "Official master, I'll give you a free sentence. If you can't give birth to a son, it has nothing to do with your women. If you randomly marry a concubine and go against the will of the heavens, then you will have to bear the consequences. This miss will say this much, I hope that the official master knows what to do next." After saying this, she no longer paid attention to the fat man and directly began to read the fortune of the person who received the second slip. The fat man was stunned for a while. He looked at Ning's calm appearance and his heart was filled with doubt. He did not immediately leave, but rather he squeezed into the crowd and watched Ning read the fortune of others. If this girl could read the fortune of others accurately, then she really was a divine fortune teller. Otherwise, she would be a swindler from head to toe and he would definitely send her to the government to be punished. How could Ning let him have his way? She did not say anything, but as long as she did, the fortune teller would be shocked. Out of the 10 things she said, not a single one was wrong. Moreover, her words were clear and logical, causing the surrounding people to gasp in amazement. There were more and more people coming to watch the excitement. Even the vendors who were doing business were attracted over. They did not even do their business and just squeezed into the crowd to watch the excitement. The originally noisy street suddenly became deserted. Everyone squeezed into the corner of the street, surrounding that corner with 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside. Not even a drop of water could pass through. Where are the people doing business on this street? Why are they all gone? On the other side of the street, there were 2 people slowly walking over. The one walking in front was a tall black-clothed man and behind him was a blue-clothed youth. The blue-clothed youth had a surprised look on his face as he spoke. His master was not in a good mood. He knew that there would often be strange things being sold on this street, so he suggested coming here to relax. Perhaps he would be able to find something unexpected to relieve his master's boredom. But he never thought that the originally noisy street would suddenly become deserted. There was not even a single person, making him feel surprised. The black-clothed man had an expressionless face. His deep eyes fell onto the corner of the street and his eyes slightly flashed. The originally quiet corner was now filled with people. Chapter 94. Ning sent the middle-aged man off with her eyes and then put away the red packet. Her hand slightly sank and it was actually very heavy. This red packet did not look big, but it was very heavy. It could be imagined that it was not silver but rather gold. She gently curled her lips and revealed a smile. She never thought that there would be so many rich people in this era. Next, she placed the red packet in Xiao Ru's hands and continued. Xiao Si could no longer move his feet. His 2 eyes were staring at Ning's face, not even blinking as he watched her read other people's fortunes. To be honest, before this he did not think that there was anything special about this girl at all. The main thing was her face. It was a yellow and malnourished face. Other than her clear and bright eyes, there was nothing special about her. He just couldn't understand why his master was so interested in such a girl. If one wanted to see a girl, any girl in his master's house was prettier than her. But there were so many good-looking girls, but his master never looked at any of them. How could he like this girl? But today he had personally seen her read other people's fortunes. He found that he had already forgotten about the other side's normal appearance and was completely attracted by her way of speaking. He unknowingly fell into a trance and completely forgot about what his master had told him. The black-clothed man waited for a long time, but Xiao Si did not come back. His heart couldn't help tightening. He knew the martial arts of his personal follower. Don't look at how young he was a martial arts genius. Normal people were not his match, and even if it was a normal Jianghu expert, he could still deal with 2 or 3 of them. So his first thought was that something had happened to Xiao Si. His figure flashed and like a hawk, he landed on the edge of the crowd. Seeing the tightly packed crowd, there was not even a single gap. He was not fast or slow as he walked forward like he was taking a leisurely stroll. The crowd in front of him was like nothing. Everyone felt an undercurrent move and they couldn't help moving to the side, making a path for him. Xiao Si. Before he even reached the center of the crowd, he saw Xiao Si. That brat had an infatuated look in front of him, not knowing what he was listening to. Master. The man's deep voice woke Xiao Si up from his dream. He saw the black-clothed man standing in front of him and remembered his task. He couldn't help feeling a bit guilty. I told you to come here to listen to a story, Un? The black-clothed man's voice did not contain any emotions, but the coldness in his voice made Xiao Si shiver. It's not a story, master. It's that girl. Look, she's reading someone's fortune. Xiao Si swallowed a mouthful of saliva and pointed at Xiao Si. Sure enough, as soon as he finished speaking, he saw his master's gloomy gaze change direction in an instant. It was her. A rattle drum rolled out from his sleeve. He bent down to pick up the rattle, gently brushed away the dust on it, and lovingly put it back into his sleeve. He turned around to leave. Seeing this, Qinning's eyes flashed and her heart seemed to be touched. She lowered her gaze and happened to see the word return written by the scribe. Her two beautiful eyebrows slightly furrowed. Please? The scholar turned around and looked at Qinning with a puzzled expression. Is there something else Miss wants? Qinning's eyes sparkled. Her eyes were as bright as autumn and her lips curled into a faint smile. Although her face was yellow and her beauty was covered, the smile on her face filled the scholar's heart with hope. Chapter 96. Qinning revealed a faint smile and said, The thing you lost, was it square? The scholar's body trembled and he revealed an excited expression. He shot over to the table and almost flipped it over. Right, that's right, it was square. Divine fortune-telling girl, can you calculate the whereabouts of this thing? He anxiously asked. Qinning did not answer him and continued to ask, In your backyard, is there a well? Yes, there is a well. The scholar swallowed a mouthful of saliva and gave a heavy nod. He could not hide the look of surprise on his face. If my calculations aren't wrong, the thing you're looking for should be at the bottom of the well. You just need to drain the well and you'll be able to find it. Is that true? The scholar had a look of disbelief as he looked at Qinning in a daze. I only calculated it, I don't have 100% guarantee. Qinning was telling the truth. It was just that she was using reasoning and not calculation. The scholar seemed like he didn't believe her. He shook his head and muttered to himself, At the bottom of the well? Impossible, how could that thing be at the bottom of the well? Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something and a look of joy flashed across his face. He broke through the crowd and began to run. Hey, don't run, stop. You haven't even paid your fortune yet. The scholar looked very gentle but he ran very fast. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared at the end of the street. Xiao Ru chased after him for a few steps and angrily stomped her feet at the scholar's back. Young miss, that fellow looks like a dog, but I never thought that he would be someone who doesn't pay for his fortune. It really is infuriating. She angrily pouted her lips. It's fine, I don't have 100% guarantee on this divination, so I'll just treat it as a gift to him. Qinning revealed an uncaring smile. She cupped her hands at the dense crowd around her. We'll stop here for today. That's all for today. Those who still want to have their fortunes read, please come early tomorrow. After saying this, she led Xiao Ru to the carpentry shop to return the rented table and chairs. The people who still wanted to see more followed behind her. They were filled with praises and discussions. Qinning turned around to look at the long tail behind her. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If she had known that there would be such a big commotion, she wouldn't have set up a stall here to do her fortune-telling. If this continued, she would quickly become famous in the capital city. People were afraid of fame, pigs were afraid of being fat. Being famous was not a good thing for her. If one day someone saw through her disguise and recognized her as the real princess of the King Dingyuan Palace, it would be very bad for her. Chapter 97. Xiao Ru's face turned white from fear. She tightly grabbed onto Qinning's sleeve and said in a trembling voice, Young miss, who are they? Qinning already knew in her heart and she couldn't help letting out a sigh in her heart. What she was afraid of really came. The so-called tall trees attract the wind, this was not false at all. She had just popped her head out and she was already being targeted by this group of ruffians. They must have wanted to cause trouble for her, but there were too many people watching so they didn't show themselves. They waited until the two of them were alone before suddenly appearing and blocking them here. Don't be afraid, Xiao Ru, they're here to rob us. Just give them our money bags and we'll be fine. Qinning patted the back of Xiao Ru's hand and comforted her. She waited for a bit. There were too many people and they were all men. Although she knew some martial arts, it was hard for two fists to fight four hands. No matter what, she couldn't beat these hoodlums. Originally she wanted to use the same plan and capture the leader first. She wanted to capture the leader with the pockmarked face and then the rest of the lackeys would collapse on their own. But the pockmarked face was very smart. He stood high up on the wall and commanded the lackeys to move forward, making it so that she could see but not reach. After weighing the pros and cons, Chen Ning decided to lose the money to avoid trouble. Because any problem that money could solve was not trouble at all. When the pockmarked face heard Chen Ning's words, he laughed and said, "This little girl is quite smart. Since you know what these men do, then obediently hand over the money." Xiao Ru tightly held onto the money bags and angrily stared at the approaching hoodlums. This was the money that the young miss had worked so hard to earn. She was not willing to let it be taken away like this. One of the hoodlums grabbed the money bag and forcefully pulled it back. He snapped, "Give it to me." Xiao Ru gritted her teeth and did not let go. Chen Ning said, "Xiao Ru, give the money to them." "No, young miss, this is the money you worked so hard to earn. You can't let them take it away." Xiao Ru's eyes turned red and she was about to cry. "Oh, this little girl is quite pretty, why don't you play with these masters?" Several hoodlums stared at Xiao Ru's pretty face as they revealed intoxicated eyes. They surrounded Xiao Ru and did not even look at Chen Ning. Xiao Ru couldn't help trembling in fear. The two scoundrels reached out their hands to touch Xiao Ru's face and waist. Xiao Ru let out a scream. She had already retreated to the corner and could not avoid it, so she could only let go of the money bag. But the two hoodlums did not withdraw their hands. Rather, they grabbed Xiao Ru's wrists and pulled her into their arms. "Hey, I've already given you the purse. Let her go. Don't tell me you want to rape her after robbing her." Chen Ning knit her brows and waved her right arm. With a block and a push, she pushed away the hoodlum grabbing Xiao Ru and then stood in front of her. Xiao Ru's face was all ready. Xiao Ru's face. Xiao R, and Xiao cry. Even if she. Xiao Ning. Xiao. Ning Xiao, Ning said. Not. The pockmarked man also stared at Xiao Ru. Although Xiao Ru's body was not fully grown yet, her face was delicate and her skin was crystal clear. She was like a budding flower, already having an alluring charm. Chen Ning's face sunk as if it was covered in a layer of frost. These hoodlums were going too far. He only saw the man's sleeve move slightly, and the ruffian with the stick suddenly flew through the air as if he had been hit by something. Blood sprayed out of his mouth as he flew through the air. When he landed on the ground, his body twitched a few times before he stopped moving. Chen said, "Chen. Truly. Even though she knew in her heart that this man in black who came from the sky to save her was also a weasel paying respects to a chicken and didn't have any good intentions, she was still shocked by the man in black's unfathomable martial arts. Chin sword, Chen Ning's words. Chin. I king. Ning. Someone's dead. Run. Everyone quickly run. Chapter 100. The only thing left on the ground was the pig-head pockmarked face and the ruffian who had been beaten to death by the black-clothed man. Master, what a good move, the universe-hiding sleeve. The blue-clothed youth Xiao Si came out from the corner of the alley and smiled as he walked over. He gave the black-clothed man a thumbs up and praised him. Although his words were to flatter the black-clothed man, they were also meant for Chen Ning to hear. The black-clothed man gave a cold snort and coldly looked at Xiao Si. Xiao Si immediately knew that his flattery had failed. He closed his mouth and lowered his head. While the black-clothed man was not paying attention, he secretly stuck out his tongue. This one has come late to save you, causing you to be startled. The black-clothed man turned around and faced Chen Ning. His voice was very calm and did not rise or fall. His voice was a bit deep, it was very magnetic and very pleasant to listen to. But somehow the words that came out were very dry and did not have any warmth at all. His figure was tall and slender. When he slightly lowered his head to look at her, it gave her a kind of pressure that made it hard for her to breathe. Chen Ning couldn't help curling her lips. She took a step back and wanted to avoid the pressure that was being released from his body. No. This black-clothed hero appeared at the right time, not late at all. It really was just right. She said with a smile that did not reach her eyes. Her eyes glanced over at the corner of the alley and she gave a sarcastic smile as she said, "Actually, the view from that position is not very good. Next time the hero can look at the play from a different angle and you will be able to see it more clearly." Although the black-clothed man had appeared in her most dangerous moment and saved her and Xiao Ru, she did not feel the slightest bit of gratitude in her heart. Instead, she felt that it was very sarcastic and funny. From the moment she saw the black-clothed man appear, she had already guessed that he and the one called Xiaoxi had arrived a long time ago, but they did not make a move. They just hid in the corner and watched as those ruffians humiliated the two defenseless girls. It was not until the last moment that the black-clothed man appeared in front of her like a savior and helped her get rid of those ruffians. This move was called, the hero saving the beauty, but if it was said in a bad way, it would be taking advantage of others. If it was any other girl in this situation, they would definitely be filled with gratitude towards the black-clothed man. But Qianning was not that easy to trick. She could see through the black-clothed man's intentions with a single glance. How could there be any gratitude towards this man? There was only disdain. As soon as she finished speaking, Xiaoxi's face turned red. He immediately lowered his head, not daring to look at Qianning. Chapter 101. Qianning knit her brows and snappily said in a low voice, "I know it's him, I'm not blind." Xiaoru's mind was pure, she did not hear the displeasure in Qianning's voice at all. She looked at the black-clothed man and couldn't stop smiling. She had a very good impression of this richly endowed man. "Young Master Qian, last time you paid for us at the restaurant, we didn't even have time to thank you. I never thought that you would save my young miss from these bad people again. You really are a good person," she said in a straightforward manner. "Good person?" Qianning gave a snort. What kind of good person was he? He was just a villain that took advantage of others. The black-clothed man couldn't help rubbing his nose. He had never been called a good person before and he did not want to be a good person, nor did he have any good intentions. The reason why he saved them was because he had a purpose. Yes, what you said couldn't be more right. My master is a very good person. He helps those in need, gives generously, punishes evil. The good deeds he has done are innumerable. Is your name Xiaoru? This name is really nice. Xiaoxi giggled as he walked forward, trying to get close to Xiaoru. He did not dare talk to Qianning because she was like a hedgehog when she opened her mouth, making people feel pain all over. Compared to Qianning, the innocent Xiaoru was much cuter. How could Xiaoru guess what he was thinking? Hearing him praise her, she thought it was sincere and gave a sweet smile. "That's right, I'm called Xiaoru. What's your name?" Xiaoxi replied with a smile, "I'm called Xiaoxi." Xiaoxi, your name is very easy to remember. That's right, are you young Master Qian Duoduo's manservant? Xiaoru clapped her hands and said with a smile. She saw that Xiaoxi was around the same age as her. He was clean and handsome and he had a smile on his face. She already had a good impression of him in her heart. Qianning couldn't help rolling her eyes. This blue-clothed Xiaoxi looked like a harmless little brat with a single glance. He was exactly the same as his master. Xiaoru did not have her guard up, so she would suffer a large loss sooner or later. She was too lazy to remind Xiaoru. She would let this silly girl learn from her mistakes. Young Master Qian Duo? Hearing what Xiaoru called him, Xiaoxi was very happy. He secretly looked at his master and saw that his master's chin was tight. His eyes were dark and filled with a cold glow. "My master is not surnamed Qian, why do you call him Qian Duo? Xiaoxi asked despite knowing the answer. "Because my master is not Qian Duo. Xiao didn't even think before saying this. As expected, Xiaoxi saw his master's face turn as black as the bottom of a pot and he fiercely glared at him. He hurriedly lowered his head and made a frightened expression, but in his heart, he was overjoyed. This silly girl took the bait as soon as I teased her. Qianning was so angry that she wanted to stuff Xiaoru's mouth with a piece of cloth. She also glared at Xiaoxi. "Ning Xiao Qian SSS, Xiao people," and said Ning, SSS. Xiao, is SSS, Qin, QT. Qianning felt that the black-clothed man and the blue-clothed Xiaoxi were not good people. Especially the black-clothed man, his entire body was filled with a dangerous and cold aura. Chapter 102. She had never felt this kind of subconscious danger before. Even when she was facing the murderous Chu Xiaoyang, she did not feel any fear at all. But this man? It was better for her to hide as far away as possible. Oh. Xiaoru listened to everything she said. Although she felt that the young miss actions were a bit unreasonable, it was still Qian Duo who had helped them out and chased away those hoodlums. The young miss should be thanking him and not acting like this with a cold expression without a smile on her face. She wanted to take back the purse that had been stolen, but when she looked around she was instantly stunned and tears began to fall. Eldest miss, the money pouch is gone. It was stolen by those goddamn thieves. Woo, the money we worked so hard to earn for a day is all gone. There was only the pockmarked-faced man lying on the ground as well as the reckless hoodlum. As for the hoodlum that had stolen the purse from her hand, he had already escaped. Chen Ning's head also swelled up. It was all that stinky man's fault. As soon as he appeared, not only did he scare away all the hooligans, even her brain stopped working. She even forgot that her purse had been robbed. Forget it, it was better to lose money to avoid disaster. She hoped that she would never see this man's face again in the future. Don't cry, isn't it just money? If it's gone we can just earn it back. Is it worth crying like this? Wipe your tears and come home with me. Chen Ning helped Xiao Ru wipe her tears and then pulled her away. She did not even look at the black-clothed man and Xiao Si. Seeing her back that did not even look back, the black-clothed man and Xiao Si were both stunned. Things shouldn't be like this, right? In the plays the hero saved the beauty. Wasn't the delicate young miss that was saved filled with love towards the man that saved her, secretly sending him flirtatious glances? The difference between reality and what was portrayed in the script was too great. The black-clothed man rubbed his nose and his brows deeply knit together. He could not understand. He had clearly saved her, but she was still treating him with a cold expression. She was even mocking him. Did she not like him that much? Although he had hidden himself at the most critical moment, he had appeared in time, not letting those hoodlums touch a single finger of hers. Was this also wrong? Seeing Chen Ning and Xiao Ru walk further and further away, but his master was still standing there like a block of wood, not moving at all. Xiao Si did not want his master to miss this once-in-a-thousand-year opportunity. Even if his master did not say anything, of course he as a servant would. He ran after him and shouted, "Come on. Hey that girl, you're being unreasonable." Hearing this, Chen Ning couldn't help being stunned. She stopped and turned around. How am I unreasonable? Especially when he heard the word princess, it was like he had stepped in dog shit and his heart was filled to the brim. Steward Fan had wanted to take credit in front of Wang Yi and Si Fei, but he never thought that he would be reprimanded. He could only leave with his tail between his legs. Chen Baiyun hated him for not understanding the situation and interrupting her good matter, but when she heard that Chen Ning had been sent to the wooden shed, her mood became much better. Your Highness. She wrapped her arms around Chu Xiaoyang's neck and revealed a charming smile. She twisted a bit, wanting to continue their entanglement. Chu Xiaoyang no longer had any thoughts of being intimate with her. He put her down and absent-mindedly said, "Yun, you should rest first. This king still has things to do, I'll come see you when I have time." After saying this, he took large steps and left without looking back. Chen Baiyun's mouth was wide open as she looked at Chu Xiaoyang's back in disbelief. He left. His Highness actually left like this without any reluctance? She had spent a lot of effort to make His Highness' eyes fall on her again, but it had been ruined by that untactful steward. He really deserved to die.